So just maybe social reasons or something. I don't know, like, suicide.
And it's
Yeah,
in the
for
different
sure.
look. It's because Lefty is took y'all out of it. That's his chair.
What?
You, that's your
Chair,
chair
that's
right
free.
there. You're in a different chair.
Somebody put it on.
I think it was when the mayor took it to state that.
That's right. We're gonna blame Chris.
Yeah, blame me. Blame me.
He's used to it.
Well, he gets paid big
That's
bucks.
what I'm
Have broad shoulders.
We'll give you that award.
You're fine.
You guys start buying ice cream, Chris?
Oh.
Maybe I should.
All right.
Obviously, my message, I really wanted people to focus on the second point. The first- People just quit reading after the first point of it.
Maybe you should have put the ice cream second.
Yes, I should have.
We're gonna start with point 2, then go to point 1.
I put a message out there the other day that basically said, December 1st. Usually on Sundays, we didn't serve food till dinner time.
Right.
So I had people that surprisingly enough, the Trump effect, they want to work. So I said, I'll start serving at lunch. So we'll open up the lunch. So I put this post out there and it was trying to be funny. And basically said, you know, I ponder a lot of things throughout the day. And the first one was, why don't we serve ice cream year round?
Yeah.
You know, it's $1 billion industry. People don't quit eating ice cream because it's 32 below. No. And then the second point was, oh, by the way, we'll open up at 11 on December 1st going forward.
Everybody's thinking about the ice cream.
Everybody's worried about me serving ice cream. I even have businesses in town that said, we serve ice cream. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm sorry. Other people sell hamburgers too.
Two sentences of your
By the
post
way,
and give people.
Yeah. Well, you start with ice cream.
I mean, every guy in here, ice cream, huh?
Yeah, it's like, oh wow, hey guys, Slicks has ice cream now. I'm telling everybody.
Slicks will not have ice cream.
I'm gonna keep early.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna come paint your window.
Now,
Ice cream.
We sell.
Just don't,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no calls, okay?
You'd be my lookout.
We'd have people come in like at Harry Nation.
Operation ice cream starting.
I shouldn't stare at older ladies and, you know, they go, you have wine? I go, no.
Dinner
We
with
serve a
wine.
lot of things in that shot. Put grape juice in the shot glass and drink it wine. That's fine. You know.
Great demand. Your hamburgers.
All right, enough on ice cream. Let's get this meeting going. Thank you, everybody that came tonight. First thing tonight, pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, no, he's coming.
Oh,
He was talking about over here any second.
all right. First thing, approve agenda.
To approve.
Second.
Jennifer? Yes. Jake?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Earl?
Yeah.
Public hearing to approve amendment chapter 69 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Bloomfield, Iowa by amending the restrictions on parking, establishing penalties, and establishing an effective date.
Yeah, I have a question. Like, if I have a question, I need to do that outside public meeting, right? About it?
She can
No, you can open the public hearing, then discuss it.
Okay.
It's your motion. to open the public-
Motion to open. the-
Okay.
Perfect.
Jake, that's the second.
Gotcha. Jake?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Made it.
Welcome. Just in time for the first public hearing.
Josh, would you like to vote yes on opening the public hearing?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any comments?
Yes. So I know we talked about it. I just can't remember what was decided. Like, the section where it says, such area, part of gravel driveway bordered by cement curbing or similar permanent border. So, you know, we have a lot that do not have borders, and are they just grandfathered in, or how does that work? Because most of the gravel driveways do not have any kind of border.
I would say, however, probably you guys want to word it, whatever, yeah, whatever you think, you can make that motion to change the wording or.
Because the next one that has a little spot, it kind of leaves it more vague, like where it just says, or off-street parking area allowed by zoning ordinance, whatever that means.
Backyard, yeah. So, I mean, if it, you know, my advice would just be if you are wanting to change some of the wording in the first draft, that when you approve the first reading to amend it with those changes, and then that would give Gayla direction to change the wording or to remove it or take the border piece off. You guys, makes sense.
What is the penalty? Okay, what is the penalties though? Should it be in here, like, or maybe,
It is.
well, never mind, okay. Okay, $13. And increases by 5 after 30 days, okay? So it's basically like regular,
Parking.
isn't our parking tickets $13? Yes, sir. Any other comments, concerns? Anybody right or
That
call?
was number.
Nobody for rights or calls. Okay,
And you can, I mean, change things up. I just tried to
Yeah.
kind of make it in line with everything else that was in 69.
Can you put something like a formal driveway? In other words, it doesn't branch out to the yard. It's got to be a recognized formal driveway, something to that effect. That way that's not left up to interpretation.
Yeah, I just
Or-
don't
Look
know.
like a hard
I mean,
surface.
because I'm thinking of one spot that I know is right next to, kind of, you pull into this little garage, but there's not enough there for a vehicle, so they always park on the side, and they've been doing it for like 60 years. And so it was gravel, but you know, has grass kind of covers it over. Like now, what is that going to be considered?
That would just have to be maintained. I mean, it's already got gravel there.
I mean, it
Grass
does,
is
but it was probably, you know,
60 years
20 years ago.
I think a load of gravel on the top side.
Well, I'm just saying,
Box,
there's a
put a
lot
load
of
of gravel
gravel
down.
like that. I mean, I just know one for example, I'm just saying, you know,
Gravel.
then we just tell them they gotta pour gravel.
And as far as the border goes, we could probably replace the border with, I was just saying earlier, where it's a formal recognized driveway, you know, it's or parking area. That doesn't branch out to the yard, you know, it has to be recognizable as. a formal
Yeah,
area.
when I, like another one that is kind of habitual violator would be on this, like they pull in the yard all the time. They actually have to go over the curb to get in, so there's no cutout for a driveway.
Yeah,
And that to
that's
me
not
would be
a
a formal driveway.
or a parking
Right,
area, so,
if it's cut out, then there's, I don't know.
yeah, that would be, I mean, it,
More distinguished.
well, yeah, it's obvious violation, because it's not a formal recognized actual driveway. I don't know what the proper word is.
Yeah, maybe.
Something to that effect.
Yeah, probably using the words formal is not gonna do it, but I can probably come up with some.
So if you have to jump the curb, that's
Yeah.
another one. Not.
Right.
Any other comment? Do we have to start over or should just away?
No, you would
Okay.
make a motion to
We have to come out.
close the public hearing and then decide what you're gonna do with it.
That's the first thing we need to do. If there's no more comments or concerns, then we need to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing. Second.
Josh,
Yes. Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jennifer.
Approve first reading to amend chapter 69 of the code and ordinance of the city of Bloomfield, Iowa by amending the restrictions on parking, establishing penalties, and establishing effective date.
So I would recommend if you're gonna approve the first reading, approve it with those.
Whatever changes you want for it.
And did we have a date? Effective date?
January 1,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, and we're gonna definitely need some publicity in the newspaper related to the changes, because there are a lot of people that are.
There will be articles.
Yeah, there are a lot of people parking in
Mhm.
violation.
Yeah. Okay, motion to approve the first reading. I'm sorry.
Jason, you're really excited about enforcing our new parking ordinance.
Oh, that's it.
January 1, welcome. Hey, you're still here.
Yeah.
On the first, right?
Yeah,
Technically until the second. What are you doing the 1st of January?
Right, parking tickets on my way.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are going to complain on me. I don't know what to tell you.
County now, sorry.
Oh, I don't like Biden. It's full of more three. Trump gets to fix it.
Yeah.
Jake was starting to make a motion.
Motion to approve the first reading with the amendments forthcoming. With the updated restrictions on parking, establishing penalties, and effective date of January 1, 2025.
Second,
Second.
Earl,
Yes.
Josh.
Yes. Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Dawn.
Yes. All right, we're gonna skip to B because we're not waiving anything. Public hearing to approve.
Time out. Oh, never mind.
Public hearing to approve amending chapter 69.07 of the code of ordinance by adding additional parking for persons with disabilities. Chapter 69.07.1.c.
Move to open the public hearing.
Second.
John,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Josh.
Yes.
I don't see it.
So this-
Where are we doing this at? I don't see it.
There's no one in the packet?
No.
Okay, so the paper that I have says this change would give you 2 ADA accessible parking spaces on the east side of Bridgman Jewelry. It would allow for 1 car space and 1 van space and a joint access aisle. They would need to be painted and signs posted in front of the respective spaces. If you want only to have 1 space, we would recommend a van accessible space, and you would only need 16 feet instead of 24. So, there's one, right directly on the side of Bridgman, and then there's one across the road that's always been there, closer to Indigo Roads, but on the road that goes to Success Bank on Madison.
My question is, how often are those used? Like,
I think the one by Bridgman's would be used quite a bit.
like one spot or
Honestly.
3 spots? We're
Um,
talking 2 individual spots.
well, that's the question
No,
is, do you
only
want?
2.
Yeah, there's 2, but they're on different sides of the road. So this one would go to the north side of the square and this one would go to the piece down toward
Okay.
Intel.
Is the one east across from Bridgman's handicapped accessible? One of those 2 needs
Yes.
to be, and it seems to me like that's the one that should be, because you can get your ramp, if it's a side loading ramp, you can get it out on the ground without taking up any additional parking spaces.
Correct. So the one, over by Indigo Woods on the,
A parallel.
yeah, that one's a parallel
Right,
parking.
right.
And
But
then
it's got a curb on it.
it has a curb right there, but the ramp is kind of behind where the car would be technically.
Some vans have.
Yeah,
rear-
depending on
rear
where,
loading
yeah,
and
yep.
some have
So,
side
if
loading.
if it comes out, if it is the rear, then it would go right through the ramp. And then if it comes out on the side, then you're gonna go into the.
So Bridgman's asking for one right by their.
So
I think
we're
we'd
talking
be
on the
already
side, on the side of like
Not
Santel, that street, like.
No.
No, it's on
okay,
Madison.
On Madison. Okay.
Yeah, before the
The
stop
ramp would
sign.
jump the
Okay.
curb.
So
past.
there
Success
currently
Bank.
is not proposed to be one on the Indigo Route side. I mean, I can put one in there.
Yeah, so that was painted and in there, but not in the ordinances.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I
Oh.
didn't realize
Right,
that.
so that's the question tonight is, okay, there was one parallel by Indigo Roads on the east side. Do we wanna make that in the ordinance? And then Bridgman's would like one on the side of their building.
So we're just adding one and marking the second,
So
basically.
add
Just
one
we're
and
legitimizing the way.
Right.
East
No.
End Bridgman's.
What's currently in the draft that you have is a car and a van accessible spot on the Bridgman side of Madison with an access lane in between those two spots.
We're deciding one or both.
Yeah, you gotta decide that,
I
and then
think-
independently, apparently, we need to decide whether we add the Indigo Route one, because our police officers shouldn't be able to enforce any violations on that one if it isn't in the ordinance.
I still like the handicapped van accessible one on the west, on the east side,
Indigo Route side.
because nobody will park there illegally. Sometimes they park illegally on the space that's reserved for side unloading vans, so the ramp cannot come down. You with me?
Mhm.
But that can't happen if we make the van handicapped accessible one across the street east from Bridgman's, because they unload onto the ground or right behind the van.
Just need a new sign there then.
Yeah, I mean, you tell us however you
That's-
guys want it. You know, the
Well,
one by
not-
Bridgman, the space is big enough where if you came out the side, yes, but if you come out in the back side of it, you're gonna
You're in
be out the
traffic.
road.
That's why I don't
Yes.
like it there.
Okay,
Those people park those diagonal lines that designate the unloading area for a
Yeah.
side loading ramp. They ignore them.
so do you want a regular,
Regular handicap spot on the west side of the street by Bridgman's, and a van only accessible parking lot on the east side across from Bridgman's.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the parallel spot, I'm not sure there's any difference from a car to a van. It's just a parallel spot. I don't know if the size changes in a parallel, does it?
Just gonna be a sign.
Well,
You just have to
here's the
sign it.
problem, but
You
here's
just
the
have
problem.
to sign it for it.
If I have a handicap sticker that I can park in a handicap spot, then I come to town and I'm a van, a side loading van, I got no place to unload. If you reserve that one spot for a side loading van, people come with that kind of a vehicle, they know they got a space to park in.
I just don't know that there's a rule
Yeah.
in the handicap section that says it's
I
a
think
van
there is.
only.
I think in the federal regulations, there's a rule that says for X number of handicap spots, at least one must be for a handicap only van.
And that's why we put an access lane with two spots, because
Two
we thought it
spots
make it a
on
little
the
bit more efficient
west
use
Yeah.
on the west side.
I'm for just a regular handicap spot next to Bridgman's and across from them to the east, van only. If you don't want to do that, why
Yeah.
vote that way, but
I can picture
if
that.
we don't have it for van only, anybody can park there. People that have vans don't have a way to unload.
Right.
Rear or side.
Don't disagree.
You would propose it
make that in
to
your
on
motion when we get out of the
side.
public hearing.
Is that-
Any other
Just
comments
make it
in the
accessible
public
with
hearing?
An access lane, so it was all right. there.
Right. I don't have a problem with that.
Motion to close.
Are we not wanting,
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
hey, Jen? To
Yes.
close, oh, yes, sorry. Josh,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
and Dawn.
Yes.
First reading to approving amendment chapter 69.07, code of ordinance to the city of Bloomfield, Iowa by adding additional parking for persons with disability.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to do what I said I would like to see us do, and that is to have one handicapped accessible parking space immediately east of Bridgman's Jewelry and another one for van-only handicap parking space across the street to the east of Madison Street. For van-only handicap parking.
Anybody want a second or make a different motion?
I'm just trying to think. How to- My concern is the van accessible handicap and a parallel parking. How do they unload off the side onto a curb?
They always unload to the right.
Yeah, but you're up against the curb.
If the ramp comes down and lays right on the ground, perfect.
It'll be above the curb.
Above the curb, yeah. It'll come right out
It comes on top of the curb.
on top of the ground.
Is the sidewalk and everything? I'm trying to
That
picture in my
piece didn't
mind,
get done.
is it all?
It's not bad.
That's a nice open cement area,
Yeah.
but off the top of my head, I don't recall how high the curb still is there. That would create an issue if your van door lands on top, is the end of your ramp gonna be 6 inches off the ground? Sure, I don't,
Is this where
It
the
will not be.
balcony thing is with the stairs
Yeah.
coming down?
Yes.
yeah, it's on that side, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a little ways north. There's a nice landing spot there. It's,
Okay, that's the thing I'm trying to think of is it, are we approving something that we can't do because of the physical?
ADA.
Yeah.
that I agree with.
Yeah, I mean, we can go look and be prepared to talk about that when you do the second reading, and I can bring, I can bring both options back. I mean, I don't have to do anything with this one.
Pat,
And I can give you the other.
Yeah, that's no.
I'll second this
Oh,
motion.
but it's 10 foot,
Pending
10 foot hole under that section.
this
You know,
review.
that's why we didn't have to do sidewalk there. Yeah, so I said that. Back to the minute.
Okay, so I have a first from Dawn and a second from Jake, pending the ADA compliance to doing a van only on the Indigo Rip side of the road and a normal handicap on the Bridgman side of the road. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes. Josh,
Yes.
Earl,
yes,
Dawn.
Yeah.
Zach,
December 7th could be a busy day for us. Got Shop Top, a bunch of events, with, Main Street going on. We're currently in plans to do some training. The school, with part of their grant, offered to send a couple officers from the sheriff's office and from the police department to some training, geared towards school shooting type stuff. So that's probably way down the road that you'll probably hear more about it from Chase later on. We are in the process of starting our transfer of files over from our All Points records management system over to Shieldware. That's gonna be a busy time. That was through the E911 board, I believe
is that where mobile patrol will work again?
yes. Yeah. Yes, thank the Lord, yeah. So we're just starting that, but we got, 20-something years of files that, it's gonna take a bit. And then the big news of the week, Mayor came out and swore Chase in on Tuesday. So he started Tuesday and things are going great. Things are gonna be A-okay.
Congratulations once again.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Jeff?
COVID kind of took a backseat because the last couple of weeks I've been trying to get some end of year stuff done for the fire department. Number one thing, get my budget done so I can get it turned into the Tommy Devil. Been working on, getting the end of year data for the assistance to firefighter grant for the township trustees. So that we get that in, try to get a new truck replaced. Other than that, we started firefighter one class about 3 weeks ago. We started out with 6 firefighters from the Bloomfield Fire Department. A couple gentlemen from the Forest Fire Department asked if they could join in, get their certifications. And just this week, I've had a contact with another mayor from another town, and she would like to send 3 of hers over. So we're not so far in that we can't get started. So it looks like we're gonna have between 9 and 12 firefighters going through a firefighter one class, so
Awesome.
kind of excited. First one, and I've had hands-in training, and so we're very excited about this. Next week, we'll get back on top of the code enforcement, chasing stuff down. On a side note, December 4th, I'll be going in for arthroscopic knee surgery on my right knee. I'll be down for 4 or 5 days, trying to get back up, get back to administration duties, so.
Good
Other than
luck,
that, we're going good.
good luck with that. Thank you, Jeff.
Yep.
Victor Center, anybody here tonight? Okay, Main Street,
We had our planning meeting. We normally do that once a year. That was last week. We talked about all of our events from the previous year, things we liked, we didn't like, maybe what things we wanted to change. Budget, transformation strategy, stuff like that. So lots of good, positive enthusiasm for 2025. Like Zach said, we got Hometown Christmas coming up in a couple of weeks. So we've had businesses come in and start decorating the trees and things like that. And that's really it. Just waiting for the year end, I guess.
thank you. I don't see John. Consent agenda,
Motion to approve.
Second. Jake,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes.
Yes.
approve invoice 18653 to Print Triniger in the amount of $8,085.43 for engineering on the sidewalk phase 2 project.
Move to approve.
Jennifer. Yes.
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Earl,
Yeah.
Don.
Yes. Approve invoice 279 for McClure, excuse me, concrete in the amount of $43,249.13 for work done on Smith Street.
Move to approve.
Second.
Earl,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Josh.
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes.
Approve resolution accepting fiscal year 2024 streets finance report.
So this report is everything that we did in the streets department that we send up to the state so that we can make sure we get our road use tax money for next year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Jake,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes. Don,
Yes.
Earl.
Yes.
Approve TIF debt certification report for fiscal year 24.
So this report is, how much money we're gonna tip debt certify with the county. And it's only the portion that was not covered by the SRF or the W2I grant for the sidewalk.
Move to approve.
Second. Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes.
Approve urban renewal report fiscal year 24.
Another report is due, by December 1st that was also submitted to the Department of Management, in discussion with how much money we spend in our urban renewal areas for the state or for the town.
Move to approve.
Second.
Josh,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jake.
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes. Dawn.
Yes.
Discuss and decide on the meter reader truck request.
Okay, I'll start this piece and then Rusty can chime in because he's the one that looked at it. But back in February of 24, I had brought to you guys what equipment did you want to buy this fiscal year? And the motion at that time was the priority was the park shop, the fire general use truck, and then possibly a meter reader truck. And then we had some other miscellaneous small equipment. I ran the numbers to see before we could buy this, where we're sitting. With the truck that was just approved for Jeff, we are actually gonna take his old truck and transfer it to the gas department rather than try to find them something next year. They have a truck that's like 24 years old or so. So we're just gonna move that over. The only thing we'll have with expenses there is decals. Obviously, we don't want to just say fire department. For the meter reader truck, right now, our meter reader drives the Bolt, and in the winter time, she has to juggle with Colin and Rusty to take the DPW truck. So, Rusty and Colin and Lisa all went and looked at some trucks. Obviously, we're trying to find the cheapest one that was cloth inside and was able to get the job done. If you approve this truck, it will be shared, not just meter reader, but Colin and Lisa would share it in the winter, or if like Lisa's out doing meter reading during that week of the month, then Colin would have to share a truck with Rusty or with Jared, depending on what's going on. In the original talk that we had was to sell the Bolt, but after we found out it wasn't worth very much money, we decided maybe we would just keep it and use it when it's not winter. Lisa could still meter read and use that to go to the bank and the cemetery and the different stuff that we use it now. So, in your packet should be the cheapest one that they found. Now that is the not to exceed amount. The person that they were working with wasn't there to be able to confirm, you know, how much of a government discount or anything that we could get. But, when they looked at the ones that were used versus new, it was a matter of about $3,000 to $5,000. So, for new, and then when you take that off. So, the question is, are we gonna in fact move forward with that purchase this year? Like what we had discussed back in February? If not, I wanna just caution you though that the conversation we've had for next year, there's gonna be some larger infrastructure, so I don't think you'll have a lot of room next year for equipment. Just so you know that up front.
As earlier, you said that this was budgeted, so it is budgeted.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
How much did we put into it?
So we didn't actually physically say how much. We separated out
170.
170. Yep. So far of the 170, we have, Jeff's truck has been approved for 65, and then the parks shop was no more than 85. But with the gas department paying for his truck, that frees up some cash of that 170 that we wouldn't have had. So we'll have, I would suggest try not to spend more than like 30, 35, no matter what. Just so you can still leave 10 to 20 grand between now and then. If there is any other little, sometimes they come with like an attachment to the tractor that they want or something like that.
And the transferring of these trucks, was there one old one that you did not tell us how you're gonna get rid of that or what's gonna happen to the old one?
I don't know. What are you gonna
Does
do
it
with
have
the
any-
old
does it have
gas
value?
truck?
It's
The old
it's
gas
a
truck.
25-year-old truck. It's a 1-ton dually, so it's just, it probably
Drive it
down,
till
but
it
it's still a
drops.
safe truck. It's safe enough. And we wouldn't be in the wrong to sell it and get what we can get out of it. But yeah, it's just,
Will that be the plan?
we've
probably?
been, this last year, had to put an air conditioner on it, starting to dollar us. Start to nickel and dime you, and at what point do you, it's still like, you still got an old truck, you're putting new parts on it, it's not really gaining any value, so sometimes it's just time to let it go. So our plan is to sell it.
Yeah, I don't
Probably
know.
not worth much.
It's not.
Isn't there some kind of use that you can have by keeping it?
We honestly don't put a lot of miles, so it has low miles, it's under 100,000 miles, you know, as a 25-year-old truck, so it still does have some value.
But it's too big for us to use as a general runaround short trip.
Yeah, it's got a big fiberglass box on the back of it that's heavy. It's a 1-ton dually, 2-wheel drive. It's just not very handy in any other department.
What were you
Well,
gonna say?
my concern is if we use up all that, like something, do we have like contingency fund? Let's say something breaks, something happens, and is there emergency fund, like, or
Well,
any kind of,
if you don't tell my
Give.
staff, no, we have no money left. That's what I like to tell them. Sorry, it's gone. But yes, there is the cushion, which is why I would say just stay at 30 to
Well,
35
I mean,
to leave cushion in case
not
something
to sound
should
or
happen.
anything, but I drive around town in a minivan and my kids drive around in a Toyota Prius. So I
Yeah.
can't believe you can't get around town in a Chevy Bolt either.
In the winter, it's not as easy. Yeah.
But I do it,
Yeah.
and so do my girls
Yeah.
drive a Toyota Prius, which you
Yeah.
can't get much closer to the ground.
Yeah. And you know, like,
Guys have a conservative council.
What's that?
It's nice.
Really nice that hearing what she's saying there.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
She's conservative.
I mean, I would tell you honestly, if it were up to me, the issue one, yeah, is obviously it is harder to get through some of the areas in the snow, but two is more, you got 3 people sharing. So it is a little bit harder. Now, some of the other ones, some of the other departments, like a lot of them, we have replaced all their equipment in their trucks. So I personally don't see a lot of equipment coming forward for a while, but that's just me.
Probably
Um,
the biggest thing on the Volt, when it does get nasty out, we try really hard to read meters on the same day every month so that people can budget that way. Try to make it no more than a 30-minute read, or how that works. So if the weather gets bad, we still have to go read the meters. So that's a little bit of difference, I guess, on that line. That if the weather's bad, there's times she's reading, it's just a blizzard outside, she takes the truck and still goes and reads meters. So that's.
So we actually expect this number to go down, right?
It'll be no more than that. The guy
Because I
couldn't
don't
tell
see
me.
anything about a government.
No, the guy couldn't tell us,
Yeah.
is it $1,000? Is it 500 or is it 10,000? Like, we have no idea.
Is this a hybrid truck?
No,
It
it's
shouldn't
still,
be.
it's not a hybrid.
Just regular.
It's just
It's just gas, yes.
8-speed automatic.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, my personal opinion is, yes, we all discussed it back in February, but then the stuff comes back to council for you guys to decide if you want to do it or not. At the end of the day, yes, there is cushion in there, even though I like to tell everybody like, nope, we don't have any, but at the end of the day, Rusty can continue to give up his truck and hang out with me too. That works. But like I said, those individuals that came and said, okay, we did the park shop, we did the general use, fire, do we still have room for the meter reader or not? So it's up to you guys.
How much are we spending on the parts shop?
No more than 85,000 is what was approved.
What do we think it'll be?
Well, the quote come back under 85.
Yeah, it was like
It was
82 or 83 something.
Ish.
Yeah, was what, yeah, start to finish.
but this isn't gonna take all of the funds. Just-
Right, well,
I don't think,
Need to
I don't
keep a little
think
bit
what
in
we need
reserve.
needs to be more than 30 to 35 at most anyways, for what we need. Or would use. But yeah, it's totally up to you guys.
It almost, unless I'm not adding up right, or unless they come in way lower, we're over the 170, aren't we?
Not with
I
gas.
mean, if we add
Gas
on this
is
truck,
paying for their truck,
how much should they?
50 of the 65,000. And then the other 20, the other 15,
170,
Okay.
right? Another 20 coming out of our 170.
no, the other 15 that's left, or 20, depending on how much he spends, is coming out of the fire department budget, not the 170.
You got 170 minus 85 right now.
Okay.
That's what you have,
Technically.
90,000.
Because I was thinking
Just don't tell
85
the
and
staff that.
65.
I would too.
Yeah,
So you'll still, in 85,000 minus 35,000, you still have 50,000 left.
Now, does that carry over to next year to be spent, or that it does
it'll
not?
go away July 1st if you haven't spent it.
What is that, a grant?
What does go away mean?
The budget
You can't
reset.
carry it over.
Yes, but.
The budget reset, so,
It just,
You have to-
yeah.
so
No,
you,
all that would mean is we underspend our budget.
Yeah.
right, so you would be under budget in that line, which is a
still
good thing. Yes, it is. What would happen is when I come to you guys for this next budget, I would say, okay, how much do you want to set aside this year? Do you want to still do 170? Do you want to do less? Do you want to do more? And then that's when you decide how much you want to set aside. But yeah, we did set it aside. If we don't spend it, we don't spend it. There's nobody telling you.
Do we run a truck?
How long have we been operating on the present system?
Rusty,
I'm sorry,
How long have we been operating on the present system with this truck sharing and meter reading and whatnot?
as long as I've been here, I've had the DPW truck and we've had the Volt come on board when the Christmas ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bought with him, so that.
We've had it
10
12 years or so.
And but if we don't use it, it goes.
Well, you just didn't use.
It doesn't go.
The budget.
That's what that's you
Yeah.
said.
No, it doesn't go away. It's all wheel drive.
You have to elect to how much you want to put in it next year. So, yeah, it's not a grant. It's not a use it, you lose it at that point. It's, we set this money aside to do this equipment. Do we want to do it or not? Is what it comes down to.
Not sensing any interest. I'm gonna move on unless I hear.
Well,
something.
yeah. Move to approve
Thank you.
meter reader truck request at no more than $32,000.
Earl,
Yes.
Jennifer,
No.
Jake,
Yes.
Josh,
No.
John.
Yes.
Discuss and decide on conflict waiver for city attorney to aid in rezoning of property within city limits.
So I'll get that one. John Weber was approached by an owner of a parcel here in Bloomfield that wants to develop an apartment building. That's property that is at 206 Weaver Road and north and east of that. John indicates that there will likely be an application for rezoning, and he might have to appear before the city council on behalf of the developer. And since we are the city attorney in our office, we cannot take that work without a waiver from the city. I am not making a recommendation one way or the other. I merely said to John, you may not take this work unless the city says that's acceptable. The developer's fine with waiving that, but
The hotel, that used to be the hotel back, Jay.
yeah,
We want to
the
put a
Sunshine.
second story on the hotel, I think.
Well,
No, it's something behind, I think.
Oh, behind, they have that lot
Yeah,
that I
Oh, you
sold.
mean?
yes. The
Yeah,
$10,000
the one that didn't get mowed.
It's still not mowed.
Yeah. So they want to build something there. Okay, so I might get mowed next year.
It's still Mustang Hotel.
It's behind there.
Sunrise or something.
Behind there, there's a lot.
so
I owned land from a house that went way back and the previous owners bought that lot. I think at one time they talked about putting mini storage in there, but I don't believe they could get the residents to agree on that. I don't know if it ever even got off. Nobody ever came to me with the vote. So it sits there empty and Jeff's doing his job, sent me a mowing notice and I'm like, I don't even think I
Well,
own
it took us most of the summer to figure out who
Yeah.
that person was.
It's a swamp.
So-
so
it.
So is there any buildings on it now?
No,
No, it's vacant.
grassy
I know
area.
where it is.
Yeah.
I know where it is.
So,
Behind the shop, kind of right behind the shopper in that area.
No, not directly behind.
no.
Open area.
So Kyle had worked with the current owner now to discuss what our policy was and how,
Current owner.
Get all the neighbors.
I don't know.
know.
John, yeah, the people that own the hotel that's now apartments.
Okay.
So, two things. One, the item on the agenda is would we allow them to represent them to work on the rezoning because that firm already is our attorney. So you're gonna have two attorneys in the same firm, city and with them. But, we were working with them on if they wanted it rezoned, here's what you need to do, and they never came and picked the paper up. So I'm guessing now they're just gonna hire an attorney to try to do that for them. But the one thing that I wanted to also bring up is when you go to talk through that at some point, if you choose to approve it, the ordinance states that it was a hotel in that zoning area. So since it's apartments now, you might need to change an ordinance.
And what exactly did they want put there?
Sounds like apartments,
Apartments.
more apartments. So the question on the agenda is, do we want to
They want to
allow?
put more apartments, but it's not zoned for apartments.
Not yet, it is.
Right. It is,
But there's apartments there.
correct.
There's a hotel there.
They converted the hotel. The
No.
sign says apartment,
Oh,
They are
Apartment.
apartments. Is that violated?
It's not, yeah.
technically,
If I like, what they've already done violated.
technically.
I didn't even know he lived there.
Yeah, it looks, it appears that it,
I know two or three people that live there.
We're in the wrong
They
business.
took some of the places and combined them, so they were bigger.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, it appears that they took a hotel and made it into apartments
Yes.
instead of more your long-term, I'm a construction worker, I'm here for 2 months, and I need a place to stay.
Well, there's two ways to look at it.
So that's why the zoning,
It's also more
Yeah.
housing.
There's a lot less issues there now, once it's apartments.
yeah,
Really? Yeah, so
Well,
good.
I
I don't
didn't
see.
really-
but either way, you gotta rezone. it.
Really,
But
tonight
the
you just
question
need to
is-
know whether
the
or not.
question is,
Yeah.
are we
There's
gonna
1,000
allow-
more
yes.
hoops that they have to
Yes.
get
Yeah.
through before it'll ever be that. You just need to know whether or not Mr. Weber, who works in the same office, can work with this client while she works with us.
Because also remember
I
that,
don't think there's a problem.
No.
also remember that John Weber does a lot of our real estate work for us.
Okay.
Just so you know. I know, so do you want to allow him to do ours and theirs, or is that a conflict?
Sure.
Make the motion then.
Make a motion to allow, John Weber or his office to work with both.
Not both.
You'll
them.
you'll waive the conflict of interest that exists
Oh, waive the
So that-
conflict of interest that exists.
so that the developer can be represented by Mr. Weber and authorize the mayor to sign the waiver.
So
You
Second,
can't say so.
I'll second it.
I heard
Jay.
Josh move it.
Housing's a good thing.
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Earl.
Yes.
approve invoice to G-Works in the amount of 15,000 for 2025 computer software fees.
So this is our computer software that we use to do everything. And it's $15,000 a year.
Motion to approve item H.
You were the-
Has that always been 15,000 a year?
No, everything is going up. Usually it's based by, typically it's 10, or it had been 10. But according
Thought
to,
inflation was over.
oh yeah, according
He's not in
to,
office yet.
Not yet, he's not in office yet.
according to the emails, everybody in the state, it's all going up, no matter who they use. Cause all the clerks were like, who do you use? Who do you use?
They were trying to.
Yeah, and I was like, we got like 30 years of stuff in that computer system. I don't know that we want to change
I'll
in
second
a
it.
month. Well, we already have a second, sorry. Earl,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
and Dawn.
Yes.
Any public comments tonight? Okay, Tommy Joe, you're out.
In your packet and email should have been the 2024 annual financial report. That has been sent to the newspaper and published. And that is telling the citizens how much money we spent last year. We did come in under budget. I'm happy to report. And, the audit draft was in my email this week as well with these numbers. So, honestly, that isn't really anything for you to approve. It's just to let you know that I provided you with it because you can't change it. Insurance premium update, we are in our open enrollment for health insurance right now. And, our premiums for the employee did not raise. They stayed the same. So,
I was, you just read that email.
so
What is the requirement? Why can't the council and mayor get on the insurance?
Yeah, why can't councilmen? Like seriously, I asked that last time.
I mean, what is the requirement?
I am
You're
an
not an
employee.
actual, you're not an actual
I want to
full-time
be an
employee.
employee.
How do you know how many hours I'm working as mayor?
Your salary is $750 a quarter plus $100 a week.
Well, I need that changed to like a daily fee.
Need that
Then-
$10 add a zero.
And then you need to change the ordinance again. that just changed in January.
Hey, you know what? If I can get on the insurance, I'm all for that. I've worked at the school long
When I
enough
have an
that
open-
I am grandfathered in. I can drop the school's insurance and pick that. I would totally would.
Okay, when I have an opening, I'm gonna send you the application.
Absolutely. I would leave summer help.
We need
All
to
right,
teach you-
full time. Do that.
No, you have to, I will
You
work
have to
during
be
the
full-time.
summer, but you have to space my checks out.
I
Yes.
know, sorry.
Is that it,
Yes.
Rusty?
If you haven't been up by the high school, the shed's been moved. It's in front of the decoration in front of that house on the corner there's been moved. It's off to the side of the house. No, yeah, it just, a couple things real quick. The guy, I mean, getting geared up for snow. Obviously, it's that time of year now, so the guys are getting everything ready that way. They're just about got Christmas lights all up. Still waiting on the contractor to get the pilot's lounge removed. And, we had talked with, a couple weeks ago, talked with Chris Ball. We had a meeting with him, on the ISU load study, so we're waiting to hear back from him on that to get that going. Well, ISU is gonna do a load study on our system, to see where we need to go with our infrastructure on our electric system. So looking forward to seeing that. We're getting quotes on GIS. Want to get our GIS going, with all our mapping and city utilities, so we're real close on that. We've got a couple of quotes in. Looks like that'll be a good deal. And, other than that, I think, the gas, I know, Jake, you did ask me a meeting ago or 2 days ago about, our gas situation, and I didn't really have a true update for you, but I called Bill Lindley and talked with him, our Clayton Energy man, just to make sure I was correct on that. We are sitting, all of our storage is full with some cheap gas for winter time, so we're sitting really good there. We actually pay a little more in the last few months. They have us pay a touch more to save that cheap gas for the winter months in case the price increases. So we're set good there.
How about the pilot lounge guy? When's the last time you actually talked to that individual?
It's probably been 3 weeks since I talked with
Do you
him.
mind checking?
I
I mean,
will. I'll call him.
he still thinks that,
He said
I
he would
mean, I
have.
don't, they can probably work when it's cold out and
He
stuff,
can,
but
yeah, it's all.
I didn't know whether or not he still thought maybe he'd
I
get
should-
to us before the first.
Yeah.
So,
I have a couple things.
Yep.
I've had a couple people complain to me about the severe bump on East Jefferson Street.
Okay,
That intersection,
Uh-huh.
we redid 2 intersections
Yep.
and the one to the north is really nice and smooth. But the one that they're complaining about, you can almost lose control of your vehicle. And that's not an exaggeration if you go down there a little fast. Why would that one have a hump in it and the other one was really nice?
that, right there at the corner of Howard and Jefferson, when you go
Howard
east,
and
you go east
Jefferson,
off the
yeah.
square,
It's-
that's,
it sounds
that's
good.
where they redid that tube.
oh,
Two
down that hump.
blocks, we did the tube
Yeah.
down the side of the road or in the yard, and next year they came back and redid the street there, they asphalted the intersection.
Yeah, I
A
know.
couple people told me we should at least put a bump sign going both directions. If we don't do anything about knocking the crown off of that thing, it's pretty
I
bad.
I don't disagree, Don, but I also would say we have to approach with caution, from what I've read. If you put a sign there, you're admitting guilt.
Yeah, you're
So sometimes it's better not to put the sign there. Even, I mean, unfortunately, people need to drive the speed limit and it's fine. I get what you're saying, but I think we have to be careful if we do that.
If somebody loses control and has a wreck, they're gonna be on the hook.
Most
anyhow.
cars.
And the thing that irritates me is we spend tens of thousands of dollars to repair it, we spend thousands of dollars on engineers, and we come up with stuff like that.
I don't-
That wasn't done by an
Don, I am
engineer.
on board with you.
Howard and Jefferson wasn't done by an engineer.
Somebody's responsible for poor design that's a danger to drivers. That's my point.
That was part of that. That was part of the storm drain project went down the street that.
What did?
They had to dig out that intersection to do the 2 storm drains at that intersection, so the concrete was actually part of the Lakewood project.
What did our streets department do on Howard and Jefferson?
They just redid the sidewalks. And there was some drainage, they did a drain too.
I can't believe we pay for professional work and that's the results that we get. A couple of other things. We talked one time, not long ago, about a tree, I think, is up, where Brian Skaggs lives on the west side of his yard. I think Josh talked about
Yeah, I checked the
sidewalks.
road.
Possibly taking down a
Right across there.
hickory tree that's up there. Anyhow, there's a sidewalk that's all tore up going around the tree, because the sidewalk goes
Okay,
straight.
right across from
To avoid taking that tree out, why don't we, when we reset the sidewalk, just go around it and save the tree, and you still got a nice smooth sidewalk if you decide to replace that section that he's complained about. And other people have too.
Yeah, the sidewalk would fall on the property owner.
We're not replacing any
Sidewalk, property
Okay.
owner's
Okay,
responsibility.
that clears that up. Then the final thing, minor thing, took a tree out by the old exchange bank, just to the east of it, but they left the pile of wood chips. Can we get somebody to take those out of there?
Right on the highway.
Right on the highway.
I don't know if we did that.
Somebody else did it, they ground the stuff down.
They got
Right
it.
on the corner.
Right by the creek, right in there.
Yeah, we paid to have that done, so I'll call him. If they can't do it, we'll do it.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Yeah.
Any reports from you? Got anything from Tammy?
No.
Any council updates? All right, the only thing I will tell you is we will be having an annual Thanksgiving meal. Everyone in here is welcome, all city employees, your spouses, anybody wants to come. And that will be Wednesday before Thanksgiving at noon. Try to come if you're off and bring something with you to eat. You do, so. That's it.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Earl,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
and Jennifer.
Yes.
Good, all you. Carol and I asked what you were gonna be.
I love you.
I'm bringing